Hello, hello, everyone! Welcome back for another Toonkind at 12 FPS, a bit of fate. My name is Breaks, and I will be playing Johan Klarstein today. And today, I am joined by the wonderful, the marvelous, the amazing.
the the babble. That would be the second time somebody's done that.
You cannot escape
I'm
it.
dying.
You cannot escape it.
I've been love bombed in 2 FPSs. This is unfair.
No, that's exactly what you deserve.
I'll get you both back. Both of you, I swear. It will be your downfall, messing with babble.
Okay, anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Back to the premise of the FPS, folks. Today we have our two friends in Toontown, and not just any part of Toontown. We are in the marketplace. It is a lovely mixture of fine medieval fantasy stalls, and then there's more modern shops off to the side. It's a mishmash. And normally it's a pretty chaotic environment, but today even more so, especially in one little corner. Uh, there's a whole lot of yelling and running and a lot more explosions than normal, and like the Foley artists have their work cut out for them in this little corner. And a certain Lion Tune is walking by and hears this and goes to investigate the commotion. And what he walks in upon is a little corner of the marketplace. It is completely covered in this weird, viscous, purple black goo. There are a whole bunch of tunes that are either slipping on this glue or alternatively being stuck into the glue, and they're all yelling and caterwauling and making a huge ruckus. And above it all, there is a little humanoid kind of figure with a very big bulbous head, uh, who is spraying them further with more of this goo, laughing its head off. Uh, and I think I'm going to start off with Johan rolling. I'm going to say history, just to see if he recognizes this little mischief maker. Okay, 18 I would say would do it. He recognizes this pretty much immediately as a Boggle, a fey prankster, if you will, who is apparently having its way with the citizens of Toontown, at least in this corner. Okay, so he starts looking about to see if there's anything he can do to help or stop this from happening. But I think it would be a good a time to see what's Professor doing.
Apologies about that. My brother just got home, so I
Oh,
had to mute his dogs.
oh, no worries, no worries.
But Professor Wynne is probably just now arriving to the scene, having gotten a call from um, one of the higher ups at one of the schools
Mm.
about the situation. And
Oh, yeah.
reluctantly, he is making his way over.
Hmm. Um, it's
He's used to having to do this.
okay. Um, what's his what's his reaction when he sees the chaos?
He doesn't really react. It's honestly the same shit as always when he gets a call like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just gonna have Johan from wherever he is in all this. He's going to cast Spider Climb so he can avoid the pools of sticky or slippery liquid on the the floor. And he's gonna try walking up around on some of the buildings to see if he can't get close enough to the boggle to scare it off. Something.
That is entirely fair, and I think I'm gonna have Win, um, once he starts to see some of the puddles, he's gonna put his feet together, and that makes him float, and so he's gonna just start flying around.
Okay. It's pretty easy to see where the boggle is currently because it's not exactly trying to hide. But how about we roll initiative just to see? who gets to go first in their attempts to stop this troublemaker.
Alrighty.
5 from Johan. And we'll do.
There we go.
Oh, very good. Okay, and then I'll do the Boggle. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, the Boggle's going first. Uh,
Okay.
okay. Let's see. So I think the Boggle first needs to notice that there's someone, approaching. So we'll just have. Okay, yeah. Are you trying to be stealthy at all?
I think you would, yeah.
Okay. Um, it's a 15 perception. Do you want to try and like do an opposing stealth?
Sure.
All right. Ooh, like oh yeah,
Oh god.
yeah.
Okay.
You just beat this guy's perception. I want to say like you're flying towards the boggle and you do that thing where you just like zip behind like a potted plant or something right before it notices you.
More
a a suspiciously professor shaped potted plant.
amazing.
Yes. I'll go have Johan try and roll some stealth, see how he's doing here. Oh boy, this is absolutely Johan's forte. Oh, 15. Um, hmm. I would say though that while Johan is, having the walking on the buildings, so not where I think the Boggle's expecting to look, the Boggle's perception meets it, so it beats it. Uh, so he does spot Johan like trying to come up around him. Uh, then the Boggle is going to, as a bonus action, it's going to trace a circle in the air, and a little rift appears next to it. Um, and then it's going to step through, and the rift. Yeah, the rift is still there, but the bottle has essentially disappeared.
I think there's probably like if Win was able to notice this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they both. I would imagine they both see it step through, but
Oh
where it came out, that's another
god.
thing. So I think it would now be the professor's turn.
Alright, well immediately he's gonna roll a perception and he is absolutely muttering drat. Because
Mm-hmm.
damn it. He was sure that he hadn't been seen.
Mm-hmm. He hadn't. Somebody else did. Got seen though.
Oh goodness. Where is your perception? Alright, it's just a regular D20.
A 10. Okay. Um. What is it? I want to say that it's. We'll see how stealthy it's being right now. Oh yeah, it's stealthy. It escapes your notice at the moment, but there are people like Toons just kind of stuck down in the swamp that is now the the marketplace lane. I don't know if you want to do anything about them or
I think that perception ends his turn at the moment, but
oh,
he is now flipping through his spellbook.
okay, got it. Johan, in the meantime, let us see if maybe he has a little bit more luck trying to see where this darn thing went. 12. No, not much better. Um,
Oh goodness.
yeah. So if he doesn't see it, uh, but there are people who are still stuck, so he's going to walk a little further down the wall towards them. And since what he wants to do is an action, I think that's going to take up his turn, so it's not the Boggle's turn again. Um, let's see, I'm going to have it roll a d2 to see who it decides to. Well, it only knows of Johan's presence, so it's gonna go for him.
God,
It
Winnie. You have nothing useful for this situation.
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay. It doesn't close in the rift that it made doesn't close until the end of this turn. So the Boggle just steps right on back through the rift, locates Johan again, and let's see. It's gonna try and jump on him.
God, no, don't. Why?
Cause why not? Let's see.
Johan is just a child.
Well, it's gonna try and create a sticky oil on its skin, and it's gonna try and jump on Johan and grapple him.
Oh God.
And it has advantage.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, that's a nat 20, so yeah, yeah, it definitely makes it. Um,
Oh.
I don't think Johan's gonna be able to. So Johan starts sitting down, and then suddenly, oof. I'm gonna say he just kind of falls off the wall and just kind of lands it down in like one of the puddles, and the Boggle has a hold of him. Essentially, just rode him down to the floor like he's on a bucking bronco.
No.
It's just
I think
cackling madly.
I think when seeing this, like he does that kind of Ghibli-esque thing where like his hair just fluffs up completely. Like no.
Nope. Yep. It's just face down in a puddle of goo, and you see little bubbles forming out around his head.
Oh no.
Actually, I'm gonna roll like a D2 to see what type of goo it is. Is it sticky or is it the? It's a sticky oil. So he's kind of stuck there.
Oh no, 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 no. Uh, well, okay, Win is immediately just since he has nothing useful in his spellbook. Jesus Christ, he is now just looking for water.
Okay.
Water. What's that?
Uh,
Uh,
how about another perception check around the marketplace? A 2.
that's
Um, you're you're trying to take in a lot, and there's a lot going on. It's not immediately obvious where there might be a source of water. Maybe in one of the
okay.
stores, maybe the next street over. You're not sure.
Well, he's gonna show himself then.
Okay.
This is a really stupid idea.
Oh,
It's something that Win would do because no, that is a child. Cease.
okay, so Win makes his presence known, and that would make it Johan's turn this time around. He's going to attempt to get himself up out of the puddle. And that's a strength saving throw. Okay. That's just straight d20. A 17, yeah, he manages to lever himself up, even though he is currently being grappled by this this dang boggle. But he's up and out of the goo. He just now has to deal with the dang boggle. Um, okay, that was his action. There's not really much he can do about like bonus action, so he's up. He can't really move all that much. Uh, but yeah, I think at this point he would also see the professor. He's he's like, get it off, get it off.
I'm trying.
Not
I have nothing
immediately.
useful for
Yeah,
situations, apparently.
I know.
He's shaking his fist at his own freaking spellbook.
Mm-hmm. And Jan's just kind of covered in this blech. Um. Oh wait, no, he does have something. You know what? He's gonna cast Misty Step, and he just disappears out from beneath the boggle and reappears back on the wall behind it. The boggle then falls splat into its own pile of goo. And since
Does
it's
it
its
get stuck or no?
no, it's its own goo. It doesn't. It has no problem with it. But
Listen, I can hope. I
y-
can dream, Harold.
but the boggle realizing that it's the, the tune that it was attempting to piggyback around on has now disappeared. Notices it looks up and notices you, Professor. But it can't quite get to
Good.
you just right now. Oh wait, it's going to reach out and for the bonus action, create another rift right next to it. Um, and let's see. Uh, it's going to attempt to it's going to try and tackle you, Professor.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so it needs to.
Oh, he is probably. Wynn has probably landed. He probably had to land in order to get behind that plant.
Um, not necessarily. It could have been on a balcony or something.
Just okay.
Yeah. All right. So it is going to attempt to. Oh no, I don't think that does it. Um. Yeah. The boggle attempts to grab onto you. But well, actually, how about you do like a? Oh right, it has advantage. Oh, that's even less. Okay. How about you do like a? I mean, it's possible you could get like a one, like a nat one. So how about you just do like a quick like acrobatics or athletics check to see if he professor can get out of there. Oh yeah, nat 20, no problem.
So I think what happens is that he sees the boggle disappear after it sees him, and he waits for a moment for the split second before it tries to grab onto him, and he forces his head down so that he spins forward
Oh,
in the air
oh, and the
off of.
boggle just sails right over him and falls back into the muck with a screech.
Like, that was a good attempt, little dude or
Mm-hmm.
little guy. Next time, try not to aim so poorly. That was terrible.
Mm.
I'm not good at comebacks.
Hey, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. All right, that means it
Oh
is
no,
it
I
is
was
the
still
professor's
speaking at
turn
Win.
now.
I was still speaking at Win. Win has canonically been awful at just speaking in general.
Okay, you do it. All right. So what does Win want to do now?
Well, I think the only real idea that he has at the moment is a distraction.
Okay.
So I think he is going to cast Dancing Lights
Oh, and what
as
do?
a distraction.
Nice.
But that will be after he moves away from like people as he can,
Okay.
and trying to maybe lead it out.
Okay. How about a performance roll for these guys?
Oh boy, what is your performance, my guy? Okay, not bad.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty darn good. I'd say that yeah, the boggle notices these beautiful dancing lights all of a sudden, and distractible fey that it is, it's oh, uh, like what are
Win
those? I want
loves
those.
this cantrip, so I think that the dancing lights turn into like bunnies and things like that are
Oh,
hopping around.
oh, that's really cute. Okay, yeah. So the boggle is sufficiently distracted there. Um, Johan is going to reach into his hammer space. Okay, yeah, and he pulls out a what looks like a glass pen. Um, and he is going to wave this pen around, and from its tip, he's going to use it to create water. Uh,
Oh, he has the pen of master.
yeah. So I'm just gonna pull up create or destroy water real quick.
Eee.
So it's like 10 gallons of. Okay, he's gonna do it as a rain. So in like a 30-foot cube like around him, suddenly it is raining. Though it's kind of like colored ink rain. Because that's the flavor for the pen.
That's that's fair.
But it's for this 30-foot cube, I'm going to say it probably washes away the goo surrounding the people that have been trapped or just slipping and sliding. So there is a 30-foot cube that is safe to land on.
Awesome.
All right, and I think that'll
Um,
be Ilhan's turn.
um, I think Win is just going to continue to lead the Boggle out of town.
Okay, and the boggle is let's see, I'll have it roll just a quick like intelligence check to see if it can figure out that it is being duped. I don't know if it will. No,
Would that be
no,
against the performance?
it's a that's a 3. The boggle is thoroughly, especially against that like 20, what was it, 21 performance? Yeah, the boggle is thoroughly distracted. Um, yeah. So now with the boggle out of Toontown, or at least out of this area of the marketplace, um, they can just kind of concentrate on cleaning up, and Johan is looking down at like his clothes and the state that they're in, just kind of, and then he starts like prestidigitating, like himself, the ground, the other tunes, just cleaning up the mess.
Mm. Mhm. I think once Win is free of leading the Boggle away,
Mm-hmm.
is probably going to come around and, God, what can you do that is useful in this situation?
Does Win know prestidigitation?
He does not.
Aw.
He knows Gust, though.
Oh, that could be handy. Like, just dry off the people who got rained on.
Mm-hmm. And I think how he uses it is a thing that he got from his husband. Is two rings on his thumbs
Ooh.
that he puts together, and Gust is cast,
Ooh.
and it blows uh whatever is in the area.
Nice.
Right? How far does that go?
Well, is it a
Yeah,
cantrip?
no. Yeah,
Yeah, he could just keep using it until the job's done then.
yeah. And I think he's gonna make it warm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very soft.
So I'd say it probably takes him a good like 30 minutes of just cleaning up after all this. Um, and then I think Johan would approach the professor, and then like in the midst of like approaching, being like, "Wait, I know, I know this guy."
That's probably he probably yeah he probably do. I don't think Win has really changed in terms of looks, other than clearly getting like 7 years older.
Yeah. Well, hey, the same for Johan. Um, but
You
Johan
say that.
approaches. Uh, he's like, excuse me,
Hmm?
Professor Windchime.
Yes?
Ah,
And when turns around, uh, how can it be of assistance?
does the professor recognize Johan at all?
I honestly have no idea. I think like he looks Johan looks so different from the last time that he saw this boy.
Oh, like. Would you want to like I don't know roll a history check or something to see if anything jogs the memory? Like I
Yeah,
think Johan at this point is like taking his cane out and is oh that's a 22. I think like when Johan takes a cane out, maybe that jogs his memory.
he I think he sees the cane, yeah, and there's a twitch of his brow because that's a familiar cane. But this is not a familiar child. And he gives Johan a slightly suspicious look before it turns to curious.
uh,
Um, Johan?
ah, you do remember me. Uh, yeah, it's been some changes since you last saw me. But yeah, it's good to see you again, Professor. Um, Boggles aside, how have you been?
It's been an adventure, I will say that, but it is wonderful to see you again. How have you been?
Ah, yeah.
There have been changes. And he just he doesn't know like what to gesture to. Just
Yeah, because I think like when Professor knew him, he was actually like a tawny little lion cub with a little bit of a brown mane starting to grow in.
yeah,
Not
and
a fully like white lion.
mm-hmm.
Ah, well, yeah. I am I'm doing well enough, I would say. Uh, I've been continuing my studies. I can promise you that. Uh,
No doubt, no doubt. You were a very bright boy, and I'm sure that you still are.
ha,
I
uh,
don't expect that to have ever changed.
danke. Uh, it was I always did kind of regret that it. I guess that the tutoring didn't work out. But
That is not your fault. Keep in mind that every apprentice deserves to choose who their mentor is, but sometimes it doesn't always work.
yeah.
I wasn't suitable to teach you. My methods were not. My methods were not suitable to how you learned. That's your fault. That is mine.
It's hmm. I'd say that any relationship, you are responsible for at least 50% of the interaction. So I would say that I was not in the best of places at that point, but I am working to make it better. But I'm not comfortable really elaborating on that, shall we say. But
That's fine.
you're an excellent tutor, and I will always be grateful that you took the time to find someone else to teach me.
It is the least that I could do.
But well, enough of the past. What what brings you to Toontown?
Well, outside of exploring a little bit, I have been teaching some classes
Like
as of late.
yeah, you can see like Johan's like ears like perk up a little bit. Um, is learning. But yeah, you it says so you teach classes now. Any particular university or school?
Admittedly, wherever they call me, and Win kind of looks kind of a little tired.
Oh,
He's been traveling around a lot.
well, I can see. Let's find a place to take a little rest. I'd say we've more than earned it. After that escapade. Um, like he turns around and like you can still see that there's like a single patch kind of on the middle of his back that he forgot because he
Uh,
couldn't see it.
he doesn't have any stuff that can.
I mean, you could tell Johan that hey, you missed a spot.
Johan,
Oh, yes, yeah.
you have a spot on your back,
Oh,
dear.
like Johan starts like craning his head back to try and locate. Is it is it here? A little
uh,
higher?
yep, no, you got,
Oh,
you can,
okay.
hold on. And he puts his thumbs together again and, like dries them off.
That's so cute. Um, ah, thank you. Um, I mean, I'm it's Toontown, so I'm kind of used to encountering mess. Prestidigitation is quite handy in that regard. Um, but let's see. Around here, there is there's a little cafe just down the street.
Oh, is it one that has that wonderful raspberry tea?
Ah, I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yes. Well, if you want to go, then let's go.
Absolutely. I could use a sit down. And you can see that, like, as he's going, like, Johan is, like, using the cane. Unlike when you taught him, when he was mostly just kind of hanging on to it.
Alrighty.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna have him roll insight.
Okay.
Make sure that he really is just okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'd say a 13. You do notice that there is a little bit of a hitch in his step. Like, he covers it pretty well, but, it, it doesn't seem like he doesn't seem to be in pain. It just seems like there's something interfering with his ability to take a step smoothly.
Mmm. Wind doesn't trust like that. Uh, can he cast detect magic?
um, sure. It's are you ritual casting it?
I think he's going.
Like what is that a?
I don't know if I should have him like.
I think
Yeah, it would be a
oh,
ritual cast.
okay. It would take 10 minutes to cast it, so it might be a while they're sitting at the cafe kind of deal.
Yeah, more than likely, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, God, I want him to roll sleight of hand for this because I don't think he wants Johan to see him casting it.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I'll say that they make it to the cafe. Johan goes in to order, and I guess they get like a little seat outside. So it's fairly busy. It being probably around 2 in the afternoon at this point. So lots of people are getting drinks or something to eat.
That's
So
fair.
so I'll go ahead and
Oh God,
ooh,
is it okay if I roll with advantage? Because he is very used to
yeah,
like
go ahead for yeah.
sneakily doing this.
Oh, that's a net one. Okay, the 7 is as good as it's going to get. Okay, I'll roll
God,
with at disadvantage for Johan's perception because he's busy. 7. Um, I'd say that it meets it, it beats it. So I'd say that while Johan is just kind of waiting in line, he looks back and he notices the professor is casting something, but doesn't. I'll say I'm also going to roll Arcana to see if he knows what the professor is casting just from what he's doing.
God.
Oh yeah, that's a
Wait.
23. Okay, so I guess that he recognizes from the reagents and the catalysts that the professor is using that he's casting detect magic, which is God. This is like a series of rolls to see if Johan can figure suss out what the professor is why and what the professor is doing. A 9. Okay, so he definitely detects that he sees that the professor is casting something. He knows that the professor is casting detect magic, but that insight I don't think would be good enough to suss out why. So maybe the professor is just checking to make sure that the boggle's not in the vicinity anymore.
I mean that has been a thought that has crossed his mind,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not why.
Okay, yeah. But I think like once the order is placed and the Johan comes back, sits down, they got like a little uh, tea service tray. Uh, and tea is poured. Uh, Johan's, uh, so is the boggle quite out of the town now?
Ah, yes,
Oh, good.
I made quite sure of that. Small cutscene to uh, probably a tree somewhere outside of town where he has tied like a really pretty shiny object
Hmm.
dangling from it.
Aw. And the boggle's just kind of worrying at it like, ha ha ha, shiny. Um, and then jump cut back to them at the cafe. One takes a sip. Um, I'm gonna say it's probably a little awkward because Johan can't quite figure out what to talk about now.
Oh God, yeah. And Win is not great at conversation, as I have previously stated. He sucks at speaking words like
Mm.
a person.
Oh, I feel him so good. I just feel him. Um, do they do that thing where they both try to start up a conversation at the same time?
Yes.
Hmm. It's just inane, like talk about the weather, but they end up like interrupting each other. Like, oh, apologies. You go ahead.
Oh no, no, you go.
Uh, looks up at the skies. Oh, well, actually, I have learned a bit of a trick. Uh, and he's going to use Druidcraft to create a tiny little sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be uh, for the next 24 hours. And it turns into there's a little sun and it's got a few little clouds sitting around it. Looks like it's going to be fairly nice weather for the next day or so.
Hmm, that's nice. I could take my girls to the park.
Oh, you have children?
Yes. The last time you would have seen them, they would have been. Oh God, they would have been 3. They would have still been at home with Mr. Payne.
Oh yeah. Like Johan's like remembering these things about his professor because like he's not really thought of him all that much.
Uh, they run around like crazy nowadays.
Yeah. Uh, Geez, they'd be the age I was when you were teaching me. Um,
Hmm.
Probably did a lot more running around than I did. Uh, but they are well, and your husband he is well.
Yes, they're doing splendid. The girls have started their own apprenticeships. which has been chaotic, but
Ah.
it is. He stops because he is very soft
Aw.
for his daughters and his husband.
Oh my god. Does he have like that wallet with like just the fold out pictures and they all just tumble out till they're like sitting on the floor with pictures of his.
Uh, no,
No?
no,
Aw. Okay.
I don't think he does. Which I know, not no fun. But I don't really think he carries a wallet, mostly because he'd misplace it.
That's fair. Uh
Um, how have like what have you been up to?
well, I've been doing research into I'm trying to remember if you were aware of the. I don't think so, but I've been looking for uh, any like pulls out like a battered kind of journal, turns it around and it turns into like he flips it upside down and it turns into like a much nicer looking tome. Um, opens it up and
Mm-hmm.
slides it over on a page. It shows like depicts uh, four statues of like line tunes like Johan. Uh, and then pinned underneath each one is like a name. I'm looking for these missing statues. Uh, they belong to my family and they've been missing for a long time. So I've been trying to locate where they might have been spirited off to.
Hmm. There was a venture I went to a couple of months ago that I could have sworn that I saw something similar to this.
Like,
But I don't know if it's been moved since I've been there.
like,
I'm pretty sure the artifact that I ran into has been since moved.
oh, like you have sudden like Johan's sudden intense attention. Could please do go on?
uh, you want to roll another insight?
Sure. It would help if I. There we go. An 8.
All right.
He's
Well, the most that you get,
Hmm.
the most that you get is that Professor Wynn, he's a little uncomfortable, but not. You don't know how or like how much or why.
Huh, yeah. I think Johan is just like Johan is also just like home like zone like he's locked in at the moment like you have information. He wants information.
Um, Unfortunately, I do not have that much on the statue. Uh, However, I believe I remember which one it was. Um, Out of character, it is. There is only four. Yes.
Yeah, just 4.
Alrighty. I'm going to roll a history to see if he remembers which one it is. Yeah, no, he remembers.
Oh yeah, that's great. Um your options are a great 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 aunt, Lottie. There is a great 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 uncle um William. And I'm gonna write these down because I've not actually chosen like the names before. So we got Lottie, William, uh, Sebastian, and need a good German name, Hans.
Well, I don't think I'm going to choose which one because I don't know which one would be most likely to go into a spooky crypt slash cavern.
Fun. That would probably have been Sebastian.
All right. Then he is going to point to Sebastian.
Excellent. This is probably the biggest lead I've had for months. Uh, could you tell me where you saw this one?
I'm not good with words. Uh,
Uh, like Johan, he's gonna reach into his hammer space again, baby. Okay, yeah, and he pulls out a map, like one of those fold-out ones. It's of like the entire continent of Inkwell, and he can just kind of he moves like the tea set over to somebody else's table and lays it out so that Professor can take a look at it.
oh, goodness. Okay.
You'll also, I think the professor would immediately notice that there are several locations. Like this map has been written on extensively.
Johan, my boy, I. Even if I showed you where it was, it. There are requirements for it even showing up.
Requirements can be met. Please do,
Yes.
please. I say this with the utmost sincerity. This could be the biggest bit of hope I have seen in a long time of actually possibly finding even one of them.
I understand, but you must understand my concern. I know what's in that crypt. I know what is in that crypt has done to me.
And like for the first time, like Johan like snaps out of like his own like intensity on like his goals, and he realizes, oh, I've just been, pressing the professor hard about something that he's obviously uncomfortable about. Um, and you can see like his ears droop a little bit, like, oh, I have, I have, I've done you a disservice. I'm sorry.
All hope is not lost, my boy. I promise you that. I do not want you going to this crypt alone. I'm not saying don't go. I'm merely asking that you not go alone.
Well, as Providence would have it, I have made some friends here in Toontown, and I think if I asked them, they would be willing to help.
Hmm. Would you mind, as someone who does know this crypt, if I and perhaps my husband accompanied you?
I think that could be arranged. Also, I can use all the help I can get.
Johan, please understand that you can call me at any time for anything.
I think, like Johan, like he's gonna go ahead and roll insight. Like, is he being sincere?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wynn has never not been sincere when he says that you can come to him for anything, and while he may not always be able to help in what best way will suit the situation, he will find someone who is.
And I think that after just kind of looking into the professor's eyes, I think like Johan believes him. He still seems uncertain, or I don't know, maybe you want to roll an insight on Johan?
Yes.
A 4. Hard to read.
Oh
But
goodness.
he nods quietly after a moment and says, "Thank you for that. But
Of course.
you don't get the sense that it's hard to get a sense of whether or not he believes you if he would actually take you up on that offer. It's hard to tell."
That I suppose that also makes sense why he got a 4 too, because he leaves that option up to the person. If they need him, they can come to him. It's good to have that option, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to.
Yeah,
Wynn is very much so a believer of free will and freedom to choose.
he's a very good man. He's a good bean.
He tries so hard.
He's a good bean. He's doing his best.
He tries so hard.
Hmm. I think Johan's like sits back and like just looks at the map, all the like the circles, the question marks, and notes in the margins, things crossed out. Um, just looks at it for a bit. If I can secure the supplies and the help needed, would you be comfortable in then divulging the location of where you saw this statue?
Of course.
And you see Jan like sit up straighter, and like he then starts folding the map back up. It takes a while because fold out maps never really fold back the way you expect them to. Um,
I would, however, still like to come with you.
Naturally.
Like I said, I know what is in that crypt.
And you said it did something to you. Should Is there something specific we should be preparing for?
I'm
Or
unsure.
are you comfortable in
I'm not
telling
sure
me?
if it's still there.
Ah, what can I ask what it did to you?
I'm gonna roll the D2.
Okay.
Oh, if it ends up being a 1, oh my god, it's gonna be.
Oh. Again, you do not have to tell unless you want to.
That's why I rolled a D2 because, like, this is a win choice, not a me choice.
Okay.
Oh no! Who's gonna tell?
Okay.
There was something that I had been searching for, and he looks around, and are there still a bunch of people around?
Um, a decent amount, but there's a lot of hubbub, and I mean, it's tunes.
Mm,
Generally, if one of them is being, trying to eavesdrop, it's generally pretty obvious because they're doing, like the hand to the ear stretch in to listen. But I'd say that no one around here, everybody, all the tunes around here are just kind of busy with their own affairs. Um, as you watch, like Johan like retrieves the tea set from the other table, and then like notices it's like half empty because like the people sitting there were drinking it. He just looks at them, and then gestures for the professor to wait just for a moment. So I guess it just the professor has a moment to like compose himself. Goes back in for a refill of the tea and clean cups, and probably something a
as
treat
that
for the
happens.
professor.
even still, despite the fact that like nobody's really listening, I think he's going to switch to a more secluded table.
Okay.
He does not trust like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Not in this situation.
Okay. How about a perception check just to see if to like just look around the area and make sure nobody is listening in. 14. That's pretty decent. Um, like you do a pretty thorough check of the area while trying, I assume, to appear casual, like you don't have something worth listening to, just like looking at the decor of the cafe. Um, you're pretty certain no one here is all that interested in you.
Awesome.
Yeah. But Johan comes back with a fresh tea service, uh, pours you another cup of the raspberry tea himself, and also puts down a little slice of vanilla cake.
Johan, you did not have to do that.
Johan takes his own slice of vanilla cake and says, yeah, yeah, I did.
Young man. The scolding father kind of point to him but it's clearly playful.
hmm And there is the faintest smile on Johan's face.
I'm going to get you back
Hmm.
for that.
Uh, Take me to the script and we will call it even. But I believe you are going to tell me a bit more about this thing.
Mm-hmm. Um, hmm. How to describe what it has done? Uh, was the easiest thing would be to show you my spell book. Huh. And this is a very personal thing, I believe, for all wizards. Most with like, it's almost unheard of a wizard sharing their spell book.
Yeah, and you can see like Johan's eyebrows like rise up, but he's like trying to keep his face like neutral, just like listening, here to listen.
Uh, he flips it open to the first page, and he's just going to turn it around so that um so that Johan can flip through it himself.
Okay. So Johan very carefully like wipes like prestidigitates his hands clean before like flipping the pages. What does he see as he's flipping through?
Well, um, he sees that after Shield, the pages end up blank. And there are thousands upon thousands of pages, pages that you wouldn't expect to fit in the book. Like, that's a lot of pages for,
Was Is there any indication that there was something on those pages?
well, I believe Johan has probably seen Win go much farther past the point where the
Yeah.
spells actually stop before and use spells that were written on them, on those pages, but now they're blank. And something that I believe Johan would know very obviously is that all of the spells that are written are all level 1.
This is your spell book is incomplete. Was it like he's trying to suss out exactly what happened here? I'm gonna make like an intelligence check to see if you can kind of do a 19. Okay. Uh, but I recall that this was your the same spell book when you were talking when you were teaching me. But
It is.
has something reduced your magical ability?
The artifact in the crypt was a creation from a family that I am no longer a part of. It was, I had thought it to be a lead to find a missing member. Uh, I made the foolish decision of touching it without first figuring out what it did.
And
And, well, he just gestures to the spell book.
like Johan like looks back down to study that and just the wealth of knowledge that was lost. And he very carefully closes the spell book and gives it back to the professor because he can imagine just how precious what's left is to him.
Absolutely, and he, when immediately puts it away,
Mm-hmm.
uh, very safely tucked away in his hat.
Um, Johan like tightens his grip on the cane actually, and slides it into his own hammer space. And then he looks back to the professor and says, "Well, I imagine you have been doing your own bit of research regarding what that could have been. I can assist you in some manner. I have been amassing a number of books regarding, well, curses, hexes, any long term deleterious effect as a result of magic. Uh, we might be able to find something related to what you are experiencing now."
Perhaps with time, that would be lovely. But I believe for now, perhaps we should focus on the original task at hand. Hmm?
Yeah, it seems we both have something to perhaps benefit from visiting the script again. Of course, care will need to be taken. Um, but I do have some good
That was
fellows
not
in
the only
mind.
thing in the crypt. I can
Oh,
assure you of that.
yeah. Well, uh, given what likes to reside in crypts, we can make some preparations, I think. Um, and he pulls back his tome and flips it around until it's like the battered journal, and flips over to like one of the back pages and starts like scribbling down some notes. Like the tea and the cake are forgotten for a good few minutes while he's like just furiously writing down these notes.
When I think is just going to let him write down the notes, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
while he just breathes and sips his tea, eats his own cake.
It's a lovely spot in Toontown. The cafe is like at a crossroads, and you can you can tune watch all you want.
I
But
think when he sees
mhm.
children pass by, he casts dancing lights again,
Aww,
and
yeah.
he softly smiles as the kid, like any of the children around, just run around and play with the little images that he makes with dancing lights.
Oh.
God,
super, super.
Win loves this cantrip so much.
It's real good. Yeah. Um, so once Johan finishes, he puts his book back into the hammer space. Well, actually, he doesn't even put it into the hammer space. It just disapparates. It's poof, gone. Um, and then he returns his attention to like the tea and the cake, and kind of finishes those up. Uh, obviously, still somewhat lost in thought apparently. Um, and he watches, kind of absent-mindedly watches the professor like cast dancing lights for the kids. It's a lovely spell.
It's my favorite.
Um, and he reaches over to like one, like there's probably a bush nearby, so he reaches over and casts Druidcraft on that, and one of the little buds on the bush bloom into like a little flower.
I suppose that one is your favorite?
It's it's very handy actually, but and then like a thought seems to occur to him, and he's gonna reach into his hammer space again. Okay, yeah. Well, I just need to be a D10. There we go. Okay, yeah, and he pulls back out the Pen of the Masters. And he slides it over to the professor. It seems to me that, given the current state of things, this might be a bit more of use to you than it will be of to me.
What?
But I will expect it back. This is a borrowing,
You don't have to do that.
but I want to. If you do not have access to the higher level spells currently, you can augment for the time being. And this one, like he rolls the pen around, it has some interesting properties. It gives you the ability to shape water. You can create or destroy it, or you can summon a familiar. Though it's all very inky, a little messy.
It's a part of the fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I just have to go through so many prestidigitations a day. Good
What's
practice.
life without a little mess?
Ah, yeah. Anyway, will you accept this for the time being?
Win stands up, and would Johan accept a hug?
Um, it would be a very extremely awkward one, but yeah, he would.
The hug is filled with a lot of warmth.
Aw.
See,
And
for Win, this isn't awkward for Win because he's always cared about Johan.
aw.
But I think once he gets the sense that it's awkward for Johan, he lets him go, and he does accept the Pen of Masters, and he puts it away, where he keeps his normal wand, which is like in his sleeve.
Sweet. Okay. So, um, after that, I think Johan would just kind of look about a little awkwardly, and then, well, it has been a pleasure, and allow me to say it again, but thank you so much. I do not think I could overstate just how much of a service you have done me, how much hope you have given me. I
And
am
I
going
will say it
to.
again.
Yes. Oh yeah. And like he reaches back into his hammer space. I'm gonna just give him this one. He pulls out a little card, with like his the Klarstein like family symbol, and the family seal and their address. Uh, he gives it, hands it over to Professor Wynne. You can find me here, fairly often. I do like to go walks. Uh, you may find my roommate is also there. If you visit, do not mind him. He is he's a good friend, just boisterous. But yeah,
If
I will have to introduce you to my other friends as well. Uh,
yes, that would be whenever you feel comfortable doing so, Johan.
yeah, like Johan's realizing suddenly that he has a lot to do.
Please take it slow and easy, Johan.
Hmm.
It
Um.
it would seem that this is a lot to take in,
Oh yeah,
and
but I don't. I have been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this. We can act on this. Um, I will say,
I understand.
give me at
But
least a few weeks
please,
time. I'll
mm,
take a few weeks at least, if not more. I need to do some research. I need to amass some supplies. Like he starts like muttering to himself, uh, like going back over the notes that he just wrote down, double checking everything. Then stuffs it back in, takes out his cane, and very warmly but very formally bows, kind of in the a very old-fashioned like nobility bow, just like an equal essentially,
hmm.
or even someone that he's now in debt to. That's how he bows to the professor.
Oh God. Wynn gives a bow in return. One that would signal just an equal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little clumsy, perhaps intentionally so, to signify that Wynn considers him a friend.
Oh. Um.
And
That's really sweet.
Wynn is just going to let Johann walk off
Yeah.
if
Like.
that is the case. Just
Yeah.
watching him go to make sure that he's safe as
Mm-hmm.
he leaves.
Yeah.
And
Like.
it's affectionate because I think he knows, like, yeah, no, this, no matter what he says, this boy is just going to continuously run.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not quite a run, but it is a very fast walk. Obviously preoccupied, but you see that he also kind of, I guess he's used to kind of doing this because he just immediately sidesteps out of danger or any running into anybody, and then he's kind of swallowed up in the crowd. But yeah, I would say that probably makes a good place to leave it off, unless you have anything else.
I think Lynn is just going to take a deep breath and then fly on home with some things on his mind.
Aww.
But yeah,
Oh. Yee. Yeah. Okay. Woo. All right. FPSN.
right?
Whoa. We found a whole bunch of stuff, didn't we?
We did.
Yee.
Whoops.
Yee. Hey, that's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, I bullshitted a lot of that.
Oh, same. That's really cool though. Man,
And I
Johan's gonna be busy.
oh god, and we're gonna be busy.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Babble. It was a delight. And thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you, listeners. You see you over there, Marcy. I love you. But yes, we love all of you. Uh, and I think it's time to stop the recording. Uh, okay, bye everybody. Bye.